In this video, we're going to look at how you can use the Apryse WebViewer within an Electron app. We're going to start off by creating a new folder called WebViewer Electron and navigating into that folder. You'll notice that I'm using Windows 11, but you'll get similar results if you're using macOS or Linux. Next, let's initialize a new app using npm init. We'll be asked a few questions. The most important one is the entry point. I'm going to use main.js, but you can use index.js if you like, but we will need to make sure that the code matches that name later on. It will then show us what it's going to put into the package.json file and ask if that's okay. We'll say yes. Now let's install Electron, which will just take a few moments to do. Great! Let's open that project in VS Code, which I can do using code. You can see we've got the package.json file, but we have nothing else at all at the moment. We could add something into the scripts that would allow us to start an Electron app, but at the moment there is no Electron app, so if we try to run this, it would fail. So let's take that start script out for now and actually create our app. First of all, we're going to be using WebViewer, so let's install that using npm i at pdftron/webviewer. Now we've got WebViewer available in Node modules, but it contains static assets that we need to make available at runtime so they can be used from our app. There's various ways that we could do this. We could copy them manually, but let's create a script that will copy them for us when we start our Electron app. I've created two scripts, one that works on Windows and the other which works on macOS and Linux. I'm using the Windows one. In both cases though, it creates a new folder called lib.webviewer. It then copies the files from the Node modules WebViewer public folder into our new lib.webviewer folder. However, we still don't have an Electron app, so let's fix that. We're going to start off by creating a file called index.html. And we'll paste some code into there, which we can get from the Get Starting guide on the Apryse website. Next, we need to add a script tag into the head block, which says where the source of the webviewer.min.js file is. This will be located in Node modules. Now let's create a div tag, and this is where WebViewer will be mounted when we construct it. I've given it an ID of viewer, and I've also specified some styling. Now let's create another new file called main.js. This is going to be the entry point into our app. If we specified a different name when we were initializing our project, then we should use that here, but it needs to match what's in the package.json file. Let's copy some code from the Get Starting guide. And this just says that we want to load the file index.html. Now we need to create a third file called render.js. And this file is responsible for constructing WebViewer. It's taking some options. We need to specify the path to those static assets that will be copied by the script we put into package.json. We need to specify a license key, and you can get a trial license key from the Apryse website. And in this case, I'm also specifying an initial document. We also need to specify where we want WebViewer to be mounted. In this case, we're calling it viewer element, which was the element which had the ID of viewer in the index.html file. Let's go back to the index.html file. We need to add a script tag that says where render.js is. And we need to place that script tag in the body block, but beneath the div where WebViewer will be mounted. All that's left to do is to save everything, and now we can call npm start. This will cause our script to fire that's going to copy the files that we need, and then it's going to start the Electron app. And here we are. We've got WebViewer running within the Electron app, and it's downloaded and is displaying a PDF. We can now annotate that PDF or change the pages in it or add shapes or apply redactions if we wish, or all of the other good things that WebViewer offers. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.